Have you ever stopped to think that your finances could be the biggest philosophical battle of the 21st century? While Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome with discipline, today you're fighting against impulse-buying algorithms and interest rates that devour your future. 2025 won't be about earning more, but about mastering what you already have. And the Stoics knew this better than anyone. Imagine Seneca on the financial market, not with complex charts, but with the disciplined fury of a gladiator who knows every move the enemy makes. In this video, you'll discover 11 crisis-tested strategies, from crushing debts like a Spartan at Thermopylae to investing with the patience of a philosopher king. Warning, at minute 1437, I'll reveal the secret of Epictetus for turning economic crises into stepping stones to your financial freedom. If you blink, you lose. Like now, if you're one of those who prefers building a fortune to counting coins. The 11th habit, which I'll reveal at the end, will make you question everything you know about money. Activate the bell. Even the Roman gods will approve of this decision. 1. Master your budget like a general. The Stoics didn't just run empires, they ruled themselves first. Mastering your budget isn't math, it's applied philosophy. Start by treating every royal as a soldier under your command. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeated, "Moral perfection demands that you live each day as if it were your last." In financial practice, this means that any impulsive spending is a desertion, a break in the formation of your legions of prosperity. The Stoic 50-30-20 rule is no mere numerical division. It's an exercise in existential hierarchy. Set aside 50% for necessities like a general delimits essential territories, food as fuel for the troops, housing as a fortress, health as armor. The 30% for leisure? It's not a prize, it's a strategic recharge. Seneca warned that luxury erodes discipline, but the Stoics knew that theaters and public baths renewed the spirit of citizens. The 20% for investments, on the other hand, are seeds planted under the snow, as the Stoics stored provisions for the winter of fortune. Automate how a Roman engineer built aqueducts. Set up immediate transfers to investments as soon as the salary arrives. Epictetus taught, freedom begins where dependence ends. By taking the decision out of the hands of the momentary will, you build walls against impulsiveness. Keep financial diaries like Marcus Aurelius used to do nightly reflections. Write down every movement of troops, spending, not to punish yourself, but to identify patterns. A 3rd century Stoic would say, those who do not know their enemies' hidden spending will be defeated before dawn. When the temptation arises to buy the unnecessary, remember the Stoic negative visualization exercise. Imagine your future self having to sell the object at a second-hand market for 10% of its value. Musonius Rufus, the Stoic who trained Epictetus, lived in a single tunic, not out of poverty, but to prove that essentials don't take up space in backpacks or budgets. For debts, apply the Stoic plundering technique. List them as enemies to be conquered in ascending order. Each victory over a small debt is like taking a frontier town. It boosts morale and resources for the next fight. Seneca, who managed imperial fortunes, warned, interest is a whip that enslaves even free men. Finally, review your budget on the Greek calends, first day of the Roman month. Zeno of Scythium compared life to a ship. Without constant adjustments to the rudder, budget, even favorable winds lead to undesirable destinations. Be ruthless like Cato the censor, who expelled senators for the slightest deviation. Your financial character demands the same integrity. This isn't spending control, it's training to rule internal empires. As Marcus Aurelius used to say, no one loses another day but he who lives in the financial past. Each budgetary decision is a brick in the Stoic fort, that will protect your peace against the invasions of economic chaos. 2. Exterminate debt like a gladiator. The Stoics knew that true freedom is not won in arenas, but by mastering the very chains that imprison us. To go into debt is to surrender to the illusion that the future will pay for the present, a trap that Seneca compared to voluntary slavery. He who owes always has a master. Start facing each debt like a gladiator faces his opponent in the Colosseum, without fear, but with a calculated strategy. The Lernaean hydra of finance, compound interest, requires more than brute force. Cutting off heads at random only multiplies. The problem, as the Greek myth taught, the Stoic solution, systematic attack. List your debts from smallest to largest, not by amount, but by psychological momentum. Each victory over a small amount is like conquering a frontier province, strengthening your moral army for the next battle. Marcus Aurelius recorded in his diary, "Obstinacy in defeating one enemy at a time builds empires. Destroy the instruments of your own enslavement. Burn superfluous credit cards like the Romans burned bridges after crossing rivers. Eliminate the possibility of retreat." Epictetus, sold into slavery in his youth, taught, "The chains we carry are first mental. Your platinum card isn't plastic, it's a golden handcuff that exchanges future freedom for momentary pleasure." Apply the Stoic diet to shopping. 24 hours of reflection before any non-essential expenditure. Ask yourself, as Cato the Elder would, does this object serve me, or does it serve me as a master? Rome's merchants thrived on the understanding that real value lies in what you keep after the transaction, your net worth, not status symbols. Negotiate like a Praetorian on enemy lines. Use the dichotomy of Stoic control. The balance owed is a fact, but the interest rate is a negotiable battleground. Present yourself to creditors with the posture of a general offering peace terms. Stoic firmness, not submission. Remember the words of Zeno, "Better an honorable defeat than a dishonorable victory." Create an estate fund parallel to the payment of debts. Even if it's 1% of the amount owed, this gesture symbolizes the Stoic who prepares for the worst while striving for the best. Seneca, Nero's advisor and a master at navigating crises, advised, "Save for winter even. During the harvest, turn every payment into a ritual of liberation." When you pay off an installment, mentally recite the Stoic oath, "For every denarius I return, I gain a day of sovereignty over my destiny." Musonius Rufus compared paying debts to cleaning wounds, painful at the time, but essential for full healing. At the height of the empire, Roman legionaries carried only the bare essentials on their marches. Their financial mission requires the same divestment. Sell the superfluous in modern forums, marketplaces, converting junk into weapons against debt. Plutarch recorded, "Alexander conquered Persia with light soldiers and heavy purpose." Finally, adopt the Stoic visualization of the worst-case scenario. Imagine yourself paying interest until old age, missing out on opportunities for lack of credit. Just as gladiators trained with wooden swords before battle, use this controlled fear to fuel your discipline. Cicero, influenced by Stoicism, warned, "Debt is the daughter of desire and the mother of servitude." Freeing yourself from debt isn't math, it's spiritual alchemy. Each real paid transforms the lead of anxiety into the gold of autonomy. Remember, the great Stoics didn't build monuments, but legacies of self-mastery. Your name on the credit board should be like Cato's, synonymous with unbreakable integrity. The financial arena awaits. Ave Caesar morituri te salutant. But you won't be the one who dies today. 3. Build your emergency fund. When the Stoics talked about preparation, it wasn't just about training the mind, it was about building fortresses against the storms of life. Your emergency fund isn't just any savings account, It's your shield against financial chaos. Like a Roman general fortifying his walls before battle, you need to build your strategic reserve with the same ruthless discipline. Epictetus, born a slave and transformed into a master of philosophy, taught that wealth does not lie in having great possessions, but in having few needs. This isn't just a nice phrase to post on Instagram. It's the foundation of your financial security. Calculate your essential monthly expenses and multiply by 6. This is your initial goal, your line of defense against the encroachments of fate. Automate like a marching Roman legionary. Every payment you receive, the first levy, should be for your war fund. Set up automatic transfers as if they were tributes to the empire of your financial security. Don't expect to have money left over at the end of the month. It never will. Treat your emergency fund as the most important tax you pay to yourself. Building this treasure requires strategic sacrifices. Like a commander rationing supplies during a siege, examine every superfluous expense. That streaming subscription you barely use, that food delivery 3 times a week. These are desertions from your financial army. Redirect these resources to strengthening your defenses. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that high-risk investments can replace your emergency fund. Marcus Aurelius warned about the importance of prudence. Your war chest should be like a Roman fortress, unshakable, accessible and protected against the invasions of impulsiveness. Keep these resources in a separate account, away from the temptations of daily consumption. Remember, emergencies don't ask for permission to happen. As the Stoics taught, life is a series of unpredictable events. Your car could break down, your job could end, a pandemic could break out. Without a robust emergency fund, every unforeseen event becomes a crisis. With it, they are just obstacles to be managed with stoic calm. True financial freedom begins when you have the peace of mind to say no to a toxic job or the ability to wait for the right opportunity without despair. Your emergency fund is more than money saved. It's power of choice, it's autonomy, it's peace of mind materialized. Monitor your progress like a strategist. Set clear milestones, first month's expenses, then 3, finally 6. Celebrate every fortress you build, but don't let your guard down. As Seneca said, fortune favors the prepared. In 2025, turn your emergency fund into an impregnable wall against life's uncertainties. Finally, remember, this is not an exercise in paranoia, but in prudence. The Stoics didn't fear the future, they prepared for it. Your emergency fund is the embodiment of this ancient wisdom. True wealth lies not in what you spend, but in what you prudently save for decisive moments. For invest like a philosopher king. The ancient Roman emperors didn't just rule with brute force. They understood that true wealth comes from strategic diversification. As Marcus Aurelius administered different provinces, you should distribute your investments with the same calculated wisdom. It's not about betting everything on a single battle, but building a financial empire that will stand the test of time. The first lesson of the Stoic investor is to understand that emotions are the enemy of your assets. When the market falls, the average investor acts out of fear. When it rises, he acts out of greed. The philosopher king, however, maintains stoic serenity. His decisions are based on cold analysis, not momentary impulses. As Seneca warned, fortune favors the prepared mind, not uncontrolled emotion. Diversify like an emperor expanding borders. Rome wasn't dependent on a single province. It had grain from Egypt, gold from Hispania, spices from the east. In the same way, your portfolio should be a mosaic of assets, fixed income for stability, like the legions that protected the borders, shares for growth, like new territorial conquests, and real estate for solidity, like the fortresses that guaranteed Roman rule. The 20% rule is not arbitrary. It is a tribute to Stoic prudence. As Epictetus taught, don't try to make events happen the way you want them to, but want them to happen the way they do. Allocate this percentage to investments that generate passive income, dividends from shares, rents, interest from bonds. It's your financial army working while you sleep. Build your treasury with imperial patience. The Romans didn't build Rome in a day, and your assets won't be built overnight either. Consistent monthly contributions, such as regular tributes to the provinces, are more valuable than large sporadic sums. Consistency is the hallmark of the Stoic investor. Keep an investment diary, like Marcus Aurelius kept his meditations. Record not just numbers, but your decisions and the reasons behind them. When the market fluctuates, and it always does, your notes will serve as a moral compass to keep you on course. As the Stoics taught, what disturbs men is not events, but their opinions about them. Practice Stoic financial detachment. Your portfolio does not define who you are. Musonius Rufus preached that true wealth lies in mental independence, not in a bank balance. Use money as a tool, not as a measure of personal worth. A wise emperor knows that his kingdom is bigger than his treasures. Prepare for inevitable crises. Just as Rome kept granaries full for periods of scarcity, keep an emergency reserve untouched. This will give you the peace of mind to rest wisely without being forced to sell low out of necessity. Peace of mind is the greatest return on investment. Remember, a philosopher king doesn't speculate, he builds. Every investment must serve a greater purpose in your financial empire. As Marcus Aurelius said, what doesn't benefit the hive doesn't benefit the bee. In 2025, be the patient architect of your financial fortress, not a gambler in the arenas of speculation. 5. Redefine luxury the Stoic way. In an age where luxury is measured by logos and Instagram likes, the Stoics offer us a revolutionary insight. True luxury lies not in what you own, but in what you don't need to own. Seneca, one of Rome's richest philosophers, lived with purposeful simplicity, not because he lacked resources, but because he understood that true wealth lies in freedom from material ties. Think about your last impulse purchase, that must-have item that is now gathering dust in a corner. The Stoics teach us that every object we own is not just an acquisition, it's a responsibility, a weight we carry. Your luxury car requires expensive maintenance. Your full closet demands space and care. Your latest model cell phone generates anxiety about constant upgrades. As Epictetus said, wealth lies not in having extensive possessions, but in having few needs. The Stoic closet test is relentless. Open your closets right now. Every item not used in 6 months is an invisible chain holding you to consumerism. I'm not talking about living like a monk, but about making conscious choices. If something no longer serves its current purpose, get rid of it. Sell it, donate it, dispose of it, but don't allow useless objects to take up physical and mental space in your life. Net worth isn't just a number on a spreadsheet, it's the measure of your financial freedom. The Stoics understood that the less you need to live well, the freer you are. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, slept in a simple bed and ate basic food, not out of deprivation, but by choice. He knew that every unnecessary luxury was a potential source of anxiety. Practice Stoic minimalism. Before every purchase, ask yourself, will this make me freer or more dependent? A new mortgage is a gold chain around your ankle. A premium subscription is a monthly commitment to something you might not even use. As Musonius Rufus taught, it's better to need a little than to have a lot. Modern ostentation is a psychological prison. People spend money they don't have, to buy things they don't need, to impress people who don't care. The Stoics invite us to a silent revolution, to redefine luxury as autonomy. The less you depend on material goods to feel fulfilled, the richer you truly are. Do a Stoic exercise. For a month, write down every non-essential purchase you make. At the end, add up how much you spent on items that brought no real value to your life. This amount, invested in your financial freedom, could be building your true independence. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has little who is poor, but the one who longs for more." True prosperity in 2025 will not be measured by cars in the garage or followers on social media, but by your ability to live well on less. Stoic luxury is waking up debt-free, going to sleep without status anxiety, and living without the weight of unnecessary possessions. Your real wealth lies in the peace of mind that no credit card can buy. Remember, every object you own should serve a clear purpose or bring true joy. The rest is just baggage that slows down your journey to financial freedom. As the Stoics taught us, the richest life is often the simplest. 6. Cultivate market coolness. When the market crashes, most people act like panicked sailors during a storm. They sell everything, scream for help, and abandon ship. But the Stoics teach us a different lesson. Market turbulence is like the waves of the sea, natural, inevitable, and above all, temporary. True wealth lies in maintaining serenity when everyone around you is losing their minds. Financial negative visualization isn't pessimism, it's mental preparation. Imagine your portfolio losing 30% of its value, your investments collapsing, like a house of cards. How would you react? If the mere thought causes you anxiety, it's a sign that you need to strengthen your Stoic mindset. As Zeno said, "The wise man is not the one who never falls, but the one who remains steadfast in the face of falls." Practice financial detachment like a Stoic monk practices material detachment. Your investments do not define who you are. Epictetus, who began life as a slave, taught that true wealth lies in mental independence. When the market goes up, don't get carried away by euphoria. When it falls, don't despair. Maintain the coolness of a Roman general planning his next conquest. Inflation is like the tide. It rises and falls in cycles. The Stoics teach us to look beyond the present moment. While others panic at every economic report, you should be like that rock on the beach that stands firm regardless of the waves. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire in crisis without losing his composure. You can manage your investments with the same serenity. Develop a financial decompression ritual. Before making any major investment decision, do as Seneca did. Retire. For a moment of reflection. Take a deep breath, analyze the facts coolly, and ask yourself, is this decision based on logic or emotion? If the answer is emotion, wait for the mental storm to pass. Create a crisis diary, like the Stoics kept their philosophical diaries. Record your reactions during market crashes, moments of euphoria, impulsive decisions. Over time, you'll notice patterns in your financial behavior. As Musonius Rufus used to say, self-knowledge is the wise man's first investment. Remember, the market is like the Roman Colosseum, a spectacle of human emotion in its rawest form. But you're not a gladiator fighting for your life. You're a serene observer in the stands, choosing your moments wisely. In 2025, cultivate market coolness not as a mask of indifference, but as armor against the irrationality of the markets. The real battle is not against the market, but against your own impulses. Like a Roman legionary who trains daily, strengthen your emotional discipline. Because in the end, as Stoicism teaches, it's not what happens to your money that matters, but how you react to it. Stay firm, strategic, and above all, calm, because the greatest opportunities arise when others lose their heads. Your goal is not to beat the market, but to master your emotions in the face of it. As Marcus Aurelius used to say, tranquility comes from simplicity. In 2025, be the rock that the market waves don't move, impassive, strategic, and eternally patient. 7. Automate like a Roman watchmaker. The ancient Romans were masters at creating systems that worked with military precision. From aqueducts to roads, everything operated like clockwork. In 2025, your money needs the same mechanical discipline. Don't rely on motivation or willpower. Rely on automatic systems that work while you sleep, like the precise gears of a Roman clock. Epictetus, in his practical wisdom, taught that our actions must follow a clear purpose. First, tell yourself what you want to be. Then do what you need to do. In the modern financial context, this means creating an automatic system that reflects your goals. Set up automatic transfers to investments at the exact moment your salary lands in your account, before your emotional mind has a chance to interfere. Think like a Roman engineer. Each denarius must have its destination predetermined, set fixed. Percentages: 20% for investments, 50% for basic needs, 30% for personal goals. The secret lies in the order. First pay your future self, then the bills, lastly the pleasures. Like an aqueduct that doesn't ask the water where it wants to go, your financial system should flow automatically. Automation isn't just convenience. It's protection against your own human nature. The Stoics knew that emotions are like the wind. They change constantly and can take your financial boat in dangerous directions. By automating financial decisions, you remove the emotional element from the equation. It's like building a Roman wall against spending impulses. Create automatic alerts like Roman sentinels, notifications for bills coming due, spending limits reached, investment opportunities. Your financial life should function like a well-trained legion. Each real soldier knows exactly their role and position. Don't leave important decisions to the heat of the moment. Modern technology is your ally in this battle. Use financial control applications like the Romans used their calculating tables with precision and constancy. Set up automatic card limits, categorize spending automatically, schedule periodic reviews of your investments. The aim is to create a system as reliable as a Roman sundial. Remember, financial discipline isn't about willpower. It's about intelligent systems. As Marcus Aurelius used to say, order in life comes from order in thoughts. In 2025, be the architect of your own automatic financial system. Let technology do the work for you while keeping your focus on what really matters, your long-term goals. True financial freedom comes when your money works automatically according to your plan, like a Roman clock that keeps ticking regardless of the weather. Don't depend on daily decisions. Build a system that works even when you're not looking. Like Rome's aqueducts that still stand today, your financial system must be built to last. Your mission in 2025 is clear. Become the chief engineer of your own financial Rome. Automate, systematize, and let technology do the heavy lifting. Because in the end, as the Stoics well knew, true wealth lies in the peace of mind that comes from having a reliable system working in your favor. 8. Educate yourself, like a disciple of Seneca. In ancient Rome, Seneca wasn't just a philosopher, he was a master of wealth management. He understood that true financial knowledge doesn't come from hot tips or get-rich-quick promises, but from disciplined and constant study. In 2025, your financial education should be treated with the same seriousness as a legionnaire's, training with his sword. The financial market is like the Roman Colosseum, an environment where only the best prepared survive. Don't be seduced by Instagram gladiators selling day trading dreams. As Seneca taught, the path to wisdom is long, through precepts short and effective through examples. Or devote a sacred hour every day to study, not to get rich quick, but to build a fortress of knowledge. Behavioral economics is your first line of defense. Understand why you make financial decisions, how your biases affect your investments, and why fear and greed are an investor's greatest enemies. The Stoics practice constant self-observation. Do the same with your financial decisions. Record every move, every impulse, every mistake. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts. Treat annual reports like the Stoics treated their sacred texts. Learn to read balance sheets not as cold numbers, but as stories that companies tell. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Apply this to fundamental analysis. Look for facts, not hearsay. A well-researched balance sheet is worth more than 1,000 calls from influencers. Develop a study routine like a Stoic monk. Start with the basics. Fundamental concepts of economics, financial mathematics, accounting. Don't skip stages by looking for shortcuts. As Musonius Rufus taught, the shortest way is not always the best way. Your financial education should be built on solid foundations, not on the shifting sands of speculation. Create a financial learning diary, like Marcus Aurelius kept in his meditations. Write down important concepts, doubts, insights. Review it regularly. Financial knowledge is like a sword. It must be constantly sharpened. Don't let intellectual laziness make you vulnerable to market traps. Practice information fasting. Turn off sensational financial news. Ignore the noise of social media. As Seneca advised, it is better to know a few things well than many things badly. Focus on reliable sources, official reports, classic investment books. Your mind is a garden. Plant only what is worth harvesting. Remember, in 2025, information is abundant, but wisdom is rare. As a disciple of Seneca, your mission is to transform knowledge into practical wisdom. Don't just seek to learn, seek to understand, because in the financial market, as in life, it's not how much you know, but how you apply what you know that makes the difference. True financial education is a lifelong commitment. As the Stoics taught, wisdom lies not in knowing everything, but in knowing what really matters. In a world of financial noise, be the silent student who builds your fortress of knowledge, brick by brick, day by day. 9. Trade like an Ephesian merchant. In the ancient city of Ephesus, merchants weren't just traders, they were masters of the art of negotiation. Every transaction was a strategic dance, a game of chess where every move was calculated with Stoic precision. In 2025, you need to develop that same mastery. It's not just about bargaining prices, but mastering the art of negotiation in all spheres of financial life. Seneca warned us, do not erect buildings without first preparing the ground. In the context of modern negotiations, this means that before any financial discussion, you need to do your homework. Research, study the market, know the average values, understand the margins for maneuver. An Ephesian merchant would never enter into a negotiation without knowing the real value of his merchandise. Neither should you. The Stoic dichotomy of control is your compass on this journey. Focus on what you can control, your preparation, your knowledge, your posture. The end result? That's beyond your control. As an experienced trader, you should focus on the process, not the conclusion. If you stay calm and follow your strategy, the results will come naturally. Develop your argument like a philosopher merchant. Every word must carry weight. Every argument must be built on solid facts. When negotiating your salary, for example, don't just ask for a raise. Present evidence of your value. Show results, compare yourself to the market, demonstrate your unique contribution. The merchants of Ephesus didn't beg for sales, they demonstrated value. Practice Stoic detachment during negotiations. Many people miss out on good opportunities because they become emotionally attached to a specific number or outcome. As Epictetus taught, it is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Stay flexible, adaptable, always ready. To find creative solutions, treat every negotiation as training for financial warfare. Ancient merchants knew that not every battle would be won, but each one offered valuable lessons. Keep a negotiation diary. Record your tactics. Observe patterns. Learn from each interaction. As Marcus Aurelius used to say, what impedes progress also teaches the way. Cultivate patience as your secret weapon. In the age of instant gratification, few have the discipline to wait for the right moment. The merchants of Ephesus knew that timing is everything. Sometimes the best deal is the one you don't make. Learn to recognize when to back off, when to persist, and most importantly, when silence is your best strategy. Build relationships, not just transactions. The great merchants of antiquity understood that lasting business is built on mutual trust. In 2025, networking isn't optional, it's essential. Cultivate professional connections, keep your word, build a solid reputation. As the Stoics said, character is destiny. Remember, every negotiation is an opportunity for growth. It's not just about winning or losing, but about perfecting your craft. Like a merchant from Ephesus, you should see every interaction as a chance to refine your skills, expand your knowledge, and strengthen your position in the financial market. 10. Practice strategic austerity. In ancient Rome, even the richest senators practiced periods of voluntary austerity, not out of necessity, but out of wisdom. In 2025, when consumerism screams from every notification on your cell phone, strategic austerity isn't just a financial practice. It's a silent revolution against the slavery of modern consumption. Musonius Rufus, master of Epictetus, didn't preach poverty for its own sake, but the ability to live well with less. Set up your zero austerity day. 24 hours a week, where not a penny comes out of your account. At first, it will seem like an impossible challenge, like a gladiator entering the arena unarmed. But it is precisely this discomfort that strengthens your financial discipline. Expand this concept to one Spartan month a year. Choose a period, perhaps March or September, where you reduce your consumption to the bare minimum. No delivery, no streaming, no impulse purchases. Like a legionnaire on campaign, learn to thrive on limited resources. Every voluntary deprivation is an investment in your financial independence. Strategic austerity is not about punishment, but about reconnecting with the essential. When you eliminate the superfluous, you discover how much of your consumption is just emotional compensation. The Stoics understood that true wealth lies in the ability to find satisfaction with less. Every day of conscious consumption is a victory over predatory marketing that tries to convince you that you need more. To be happy, create a zero-spending diary. Record how you feel on days without consumption. At first, you'll notice anxiety, impulses to buy, discomfort. Over time, you'll notice a growing sense of freedom. As Seneca said, it is easier to control desires at first than to satisfy them later. Every impulse to buy that is resisted is a battle won against the empire of consumerism. Turn austerity into a strategic game. Challenge yourself to find pleasure in activities that cost nothing: walks, reading, meaningful conversations. The Romans knew that the greatest pleasures in life are free. When you learn to enjoy the simple, you break the invisible chains of modern consumerism. Practicing strategic austerity is like building a financial muscle. Every no to unnecessary spending strengthens your ability to resist future impulses. In 2025, while others are accumulating debt, you will be accumulating power. The power to live well with less, to find abundance in simplicity, to build real wealth through Stoic discipline. Remember, every dollar not spent on frivolities is a brick in your financial empire. As Marcus Aurelius taught, Much of what we spend to impress others could be used to impress ourselves with our own strength of character. True wealth is not in what you can buy, but in what you can do without losing peace. Strategic austerity is your declaration of financial independence. In a world that confuses consumption with happiness, your ability to live well with less is a form of silent rebellion. Like the ancient Stoics, discover that true abundance begins when you stop needing so much to be happy. 11. Build a legacy like an emperor. Roman emperors didn't just build for their time, they built for eternity. In 2025, your financial mission must transcend the simple accumulation of wealth. Just as Marcus Aurelius ruled with future generations, in mind, you must build a financial empire that echoes far beyond your existence. True wealth doesn't lie in the numbers in your bank account, but in the impact your assets have on the world. The Stoics understood that we are part of something bigger, a human hive where every individual action reverberates in the collective. Your financial legacy should reflect this ancient wisdom. It's not how much you accumulate, but how that accumulation serves a greater purpose. Start by defining your imperial constitution, a document that clearly establishes the values and purposes of your estate. What mark do you want to leave on the world? Perhaps it's creating a fund for educating young talent, establishing a research foundation, or ensuring that your family has the resources to pursue their own dreams without financial strings attached. As Seneca taught, no possession is good unless it benefits others. Develop a succession strategy worthy of an emperor. Don't wait until the last moment to decide the fate of your assets. Plan ahead, structure your investments so that they continue to generate value even in your absence. The great Roman emperors prepared their successors from an early age. You should prepare your legacy with the same dedication. Practice what the Stoics called legacy visualization. Imagine yourself 100 years from now. What will people say about how you used your resources? What stories will they tell about the impact of your financial choices? It's not about vanity, it's about responsibility. As Epictetus said, it is not what we possess, but how we use it that defines our greatness. Build systems that perpetuate your values. If education is your priority, set up self-supporting scholarships. If it's environmental preservation, create funds that finance green projects. Like the Roman aqueducts that still provide water today, your legacy should continue to flow benefits long after you're gone. Remember, in 2025, you're not just investing for yourself, but weaving a financial tapestry that others will carry on. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, what does not benefit the swarm does not benefit the bee. Your estate should be like an imperial garden, cultivated not just for your enjoyment, but to nurture future generations. True financial immortality lies not in full coffers, but in transformed lives. As a wise emperor, your greatest achievement will be to create a system that continues to generate value, even when you are no longer here to run it. In 2025, don't just build wealth. Build a legacy that will make history remember you as someone who understood that the true power of money lies in its transformative potential. Your financial empire should be like Rome, not just a city, but an idea that transcends time. As the Stoics taught, true wealth lies not in what we accumulate, but in what we leave as an inheritance to the world. In 2025, be the architect not just of your fortune, but of a legacy that will continue to inspire and benefit others long after your earthly journey is over. 2025 will be the year you stop chasing money and start making it work for you. Like the Stoics at the Battle of Thermopylae, your discipline will be your greatest armor. Each habit here is a trench against impulsiveness. Build them up one by one. When the market roars, remember, you are the commander of your finances. The financial revolution begins with a single click. On the automatic investment transfer button, sign up to turn every dollar into a legionnaire at your service. True wealth is not in what you accumulate, but in what you conquer with Stoic wisdom. The battle is daily, the victory, eternal. In 2025, you are faced with a choice. Continue to be swept along by the current of life, or take charge of your financial destiny. As the ancient Stoics taught us, true wealth is not just in the numbers in your bank account, but in the freedom you gain when you master your finances wisely. Remember the story of the merchant of Ephesus, who, even in times of crisis, maintained his serenity because he knew that his true fortune lay in his discipline and not in his coins. Today, you have the chance to be like him, a financial strategist who turns every penny into a soldier in the service of his empire. These 11 Stoic practices are not just advice, they are weapons forged by centuries of wisdom. From strategic austerity to building your legacy, each habit is a brick in the fortress of your financial independence. As Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, you can rule your finances with firmness, vision, and purpose. The journey won't be easy. There will be days when the market shakes, when debts seem like insurmountable mountains. But remember, great empires were not built on sunny days, but by weathering storms. If this content resonated with you, don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Become part of our legion of Stoic investors. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on the line so you don't miss out on any strategy that could transform your financial life. Leave your like. Every like is like a coin of gratitude that motivates us to keep sharing this ancient wisdom. Comment, gratitude. If you've watched this far, that way I know these words have found fertile ground. See you in them. Next video, warrior. May your financial journey be as solid as the pillars of the Colosseum.